It's like ownership versus working very well within the corporate confines. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Bro, it's hard because I think about like, I'm just trying to think about it from our perspective. I think their perspective is a little different, but we don't have that capital, those resources, so I can't say what's the best move to do. I think if I was in that position, I would try to have my own shit. Right. I think that I've been listening to a lot of Nipsey, not just his music, but like recently I was putting my students on was his 7 Keys to Success. He was kind of talking about ownership and knowing he would tell like the record labels that he wasn't messing with nobody unless like he wouldn't even come to the table unless ownership and majority ownership was on the table. Like he owns his own masters. Right. And he was very like thoughtful in that process. So I think for us it's hard because it's like we have a product. Like we got some hotcakes. Right. Like, this crack in the 80s, boy. It's selling. Right. Or at least it should be. But we don't have the actual platform really yet. We don't have the resources. We don't have like the capital or the social capital to really get this to a lot of people. Right. So I understand that like if we were going to like iHeart, like I would love to be part of like the Black Podcast Network because we need that network to grow our thing to get to a bigger level. Right. But it's hard to let someone else own your stuff because then it changes the product that you're putting out. Because then it's no longer like a us thing, it's like a we thing. Exactly. And then they have power over that. So I think that like I would love it to get in front of more people, but if that leads to changing how we go about things and it's not for the better, then I wouldn't want to do it. Right. And I just think that that's the problem. I think that like, so if I think where they're at now, they have enough of a following where they could be running their own thing in front of people.
Yeah, and I think it becomes because like Charlamagne has been working for iHeartMedia for a decade, right? And it's
do they put out The Breakfast Club?
Yeah, all that's under iHeartMedia. So so it's like this huge conglomerate of the media company, and you know on the other side, Spotify is buying up a lot of the podcast market. I think they now own 10% of the whole podcast market. Oh wow! So it does become this thing where it's like
that's the problem with monopolies.
Yeah,
that's really the problem with monopolies.
Yeah, and it becomes this thing where it's just like, all right, from Charlamagne's perspective, it's like I do tend to wonder, and I wonder the same thing about Stephen A. Smith. So, like, for example, Stephen A. Smith, for those of you all who do not know, Stephen A. Smith is a very popular ESPN sports analyst. And this man, he has 20 shows. 20 shows.
Oh, wow, really?
No. I mean, I'm exaggerating. But this man is on TV all the time.
You get to say whatever you want.
Exactly. But now, when you tell me that, and I think he has over 10 million Facebook fans and I think he got what, maybe 8-10 million for the year or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but like, is that really his value? Because it feels like more. Yeah. It feels like way more in terms of what he should be getting and galvanizing.
Absolutely. But do you think that he can make that on his own?
And that's the question.
Because I don't think so. I think he's worth more. People never pay you what you're worth. But he's worth that with ESPN. Right. If he goes out on his own, I think he can do more, but I don't think he generates as much revenue.
And I think that's the crazy part, right?
It's like, what do you care about more, your message or the money?
Right. And it feels, and it's for anyone who listens to Stephen A. Smith, they know like he says pretty much for the most part what he wants to say. He can't curse as much.
I was gonna say that they give him the leeway, but they didn't give that to Jamila Hill. And she had to leave. Yeah. She started her own. I think she's on another network, but she also has her own podcast.
Yeah, I think she actually might be the other person who was on Spotify with Joe. Not on the show.
Oh
Joe,
yeah.
But her podcast.
Show, yeah. Her show was good.
Yeah. And so because I do remember some of the beefs that she had and the qualms that she had with ESPN, and so and she
said something about Trump,
right? And she actually got a nice deal, but like once again, I don't know Jamel Hill's worth in terms of money and dollars, and so it's just like, how do you as a creative figure out, all right, this is what I'm worth. I don't know if I'll ever get this, but. And this is the level that ESPN or another big corporation will pay me. Mm-hmm. This is what I can do if I'm independent and do it all on my own. Yeah. So like, how do you? Because it's like
I think I'm more of an independent independent type. I'm not gonna lie.
I
think that I would rather be able to control my own product and make money doing exactly what I love.
Right.
But it's like, unless I get to like a Stephen A. level, like I think Stephen A. he doesn't want any more than what he's getting because he gets to say really whatever he wants. He's never gonna be super political because I think being political is really the thing that like draws the line.
Right.
And I think that that's just too rooted in me for me to ever like, because I would be censored.
Yeah.
I think that like they could censor Stephen A. but I don't think he would mind too much because he still gets to do really whatever he wants.